Whoa, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, okay, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Increase that a little bit, and that's fine. So there we go. There's a quick experiment, and people just really, really like to drive. So slightly more people are using the trains. Maybe just buses. Maybe let me just go to here and go to. Commute time is like an hour, which is not very good. Let's go to. Where's the traffic again? Traffic volume. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Buses, pedestrians, and buses. Most people are taking buses. Very few people taking trains, I think. Yeah, very few people taking the trains. Oh, that's freight train, my bad. Passenger train, not very many people taking the passenger train. Freight trucks, cars. A noticeable amount of people taking the car, but not as much as the bus. It's actually working, right? Because the whole point of this was trying to get people to use the public transport instead of driving their own cars, right? But this is actually working. I mean, more people are on buses than they're driving, which is, pretty good. Although, keep in mind how the simulation works. What the simulation does is that the low wealth people are most likely to take mass transit, whereas the medium wealth are less likely to take mass transit, and the high wealth, I don't think they ever take mass transit. So no matter what type of mass transit you give them, whether it's subways or monorails or whatever, rich people will still prefer to drive, and that's just hard coded into the programming. I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for the city or anything like that. So as people get wealthier, the car usage will increase, although the bus usage is still going up. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But people are taking the buses. So I guess as long as you give people a pretty decent bus coverage, they'll use it, which is great. Let's just check this. Right, Avenue, car 456, 445, bus 1000. So twice as many people using buses than cars there. Same here. So most people using buses. Passenger train 108, freight trains 18. So passenger train. So people are only walking to the train station and then taking a train and then going to work. So people aren't actually. There's nothing there even. So people aren't taking the bus to. Well, actually they are. Look at this. What's going on here? This guy is going to the train station, getting on the train, getting off the train, getting on a bus, and then taking the bus to work. What? Why would you do that? Wait a minute. Is this seriously? That can't be right. No, this is something else. Okay, I see. Yeah, so this person is crazy because they're taking the train. What am I clicking on? Okay, let me just click on this. So this is someone going on the train, off the train, onto a bus, and then going to work at the police station or going to work at the college. This is strange, to say the least. Well, anyway, so this is we've seen that before. Okay, there's another cemetery. Great. These guys are that's interesting. So these guys, they're getting off the bus, going on. No. They're getting on the train there. Traveling there, getting off the train and then going to work. Actually, getting off the train, going on the bus, taking the bus to there and then going to work. So, Oh, that's gone. They stopped doing that. I guess that wasn't really good. So they're actually kind of, they're smart enough to do that, to move between different transport options. It's just that this train thing's not really working out very well. The buses is good though, but I mean, buses still use roads. That's the thing. Like, I feel like in this game, cars are really good. Actually, no, in this game, roads are really good. Either they use cars or they use buses. They're very good with roads. Although having said that, I mean, I have to admit that there's a lot of roads in this map and not that many train tracks. So I'll concede that. So the train tracks is only a circle, right? Whereas the roads there's a lot of roads here. So I guess that's one reason why they're so keen on using the roads. But still, I feel like it's not sensible. I mean, this sort of situation is not uncommon because train tracks are difficult to build, and you don't have private trains. Where if you have private cars, if you build a road, people can use the roads to get wherever they want. If you build a train track, you also have to run the trains. It's not like you can own your own train and then just kind of hop onto the track and train your way to wherever you want to go, right? So trains are more restricted than cars. Actually, let me just stop talking for a bit and just micromanage these things before they get out of hand. Oh crap. Okay, that's way too much. What's my money doing? Great, I'm doing great, making plenty of profit. These guys are moving up in the world. Okay, so let me just check the transport volume again. So that's pretty good. I mean, the volume is still going up. We're still roughly twice as many people using cars than buses. Trains are a complete waste of time. Although I guess maybe if I put in more tracks, then maybe they'll be more effective. Except that if I put in more tracks, because the tracks are separate from the roads, which means that I'll take up more space with the tracks, and then there's going to be less space left for buildings, whereas the roads work for cars and buses. I don't know, it just feels like the trains are a bit redundant. Subways are good though, because they go underground, so you don't have to take up very much room with those. Wow, apparently... No, there's no demand, guys. Why are you building so many commercial things? There's no... What is this, medium wealth? There's a lot of demand for low wealth things. Okay, so there's more demand for industry. Let me just jam that in there. There we go. And then that's pretty much the whole city built out, and I can't fit any more stuff in here. That's fine. That should be okay. Let me... Oh, I think if we build 10 of these, I think it's probably time to just demolish those water towers and just go with the pump. Fail. Just demolish the pump, didn't I? That wasn't... Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, so I don't really know if there's anything else for me to say here. Crime is under control. Commute time is still the same. I mean, there's all those transport options. I guess the toll roads don't really help. Transport options, but the commute time is still an hour. It still takes them an hour to get to work. Water, oops. Power and water is fine. Air pollution is not very good, is it? Jobs and population looks good to me. Garbage. Oh, there's a garbage problem. I need rubbish dumps, don't I? Maybe I should put one in. Education is slowly increasing. That's gonna take ages to get to anything significant. It's still pretty poor. Maybe I'll play this for longer. Maybe I'll play this. Let this simulation run for a bit. See if their income actually increases. As the education increases, see if their income increases, and then see if the traffic volume changes after that. What happened there? because what might happen is as people get more affluent, as they get more, get wealthier, they might decide to stop using the trains, which could be a problem. I mean, stop using the buses. That's still fine. That's still fine. That's still fine. That's fine. Number of cells inmates, that's okay, that's fine. What else is there to click on? Yeah, these things are getting out of control. Look at that. The toll booth. Let's go to the budget. Let's look at the transportation department. Wow, look at that. So the tolls is like, it's like $700. Mass transit is like $300. In total, I'm getting $1,000 from that. Whereas I'm only spending $400 on mass transit. So in fact, the tolls and the mass transit is actually paying for itself, which is kind of impressive. I wasn't aware that I'm actually making a quite a massive profit from this, from the mass transit. So it's actually working. Going back to the original comment is, what if we, put a toll in on the road, and then use the money to pay for mass transit, to encourage people to use mass transit. It's actually kind of working. Like, it's actually working exactly as we described it. We're making money from the tolls, and we're using it to pay for the mass transit. See, otherwise, if we didn't have the toll booths, the mass transit would be kind of subsidized. So we would be getting like $300 from the fares and spending $450 on the actual buses, on the actual services. So that would be losing money on its own. But I guess with the toll booths, we're kind of spending this money on the buses, I guess we can call that, and also profiting from it as well. Let me just look at this again. Yeah, that's still about the same. Less than or people using buses like more than double that of using cars. So it works in the game. I don't know how realistic this is, whether it would work in the real world. I guess the quality of the buses and all that, I guess that makes a difference. Here, I don't know actually. I mean, there are some cities, going back to the discussion, cities like Singapore, cities like Hong Kong, cities like Tokyo, they've pretty good mass transit system, and owning cars are really expensive in those cities. Like, getting the parking spaces are expensive. Car registrations are also expensive because the government wants to discourage you from owning cars because they want to control congestion. So basically, in those cities, owning cars is really expensive, and the mass transit's quite good, so most people take the mass transit. I guess this is kind of what's happening here. I'm actually somewhat surprised that actually worked. Although I'm not sure why I should be surprised though. I mean, in the game it's not that unreasonable. In the real world, I don't know if this will happen. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Is the education going up? It is. So education is slowly going up. I wonder if I should... Okay, let me just save this. I know the game doesn't autosave. That's a problem actually. I should keep that in mind. Alright, let's just save this. And then... let me just keep an eye on these things. That's alright, And let me just throw this forward a bit. So we're in the 3rd year. Let me just keep pushing this forward until the education gets to about 100, or at least get to 80. Let's see, residential average income. So this, let's watch this hit maybe like 30,000 simoleons a year. So their income increases along with the with the education, right? So let's just push this forward a few years, and then see what happens. Also, we need to keep an eye on this stuff. Yeah, we need to keep an eye on that. Just gonna increase the funding there. We've got plenty of money to play with. Don't need to be too worried about that. There we go. Education keeps going up. Pretty healthy $2,000 a month profit. So there we go. We hit 80. Okay, that's interesting. The income leveled off. Huh. Well, garbage is a problem. Let me just slow this down. Put a garbage dump down. Or maybe I'll put in a... Maybe I'll just incinerate the garbage. How much does that cost? $1,000 a month. Sure. Let's just incinerate the garbage. Alright. Still plenty of profit. Throw that forward. And the garbage should disappear pretty quickly. There we go. There we go, it's all gone. Burn it up. Residential average... Oh. Well, that's interesting. Once we start reducing the garbage, the income starts increasing again. See, like, there's a lot of these constraints. So, I mean, apparently the garbage was getting in the way of people getting richer. Oh, no, it's leveling off again. Oh, no, it's increasing, it's slowly increasing. So, I mean, like, there's certain constraints. Obviously, there's a lot of factors going on. So sometimes, like, traffic congestion will limit the city. You know, apparently here garbage was a limiting factor, at least a little bit of a limiting factor on our city. You know, sometimes you run out of space. Sometimes crime might be a limiting factor in your city. So sometimes you don't really know what the real problem is. So the garbage is now 0 because everything's getting burned, and the income is increased a little bit, but not so much. Crime is pretty steady. Commute time is also pretty steady. Power is fine. I can probably reduce the funding on this. Actually, I mean, I'll just leave it there. Doesn't really matter. Air pollution, I don't know if that's a problem for the city or not. Jobs population is pretty stable. So education is shooting upwards. Oh, I don't know what happened there. They suddenly got a lot richer. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, some of these things just happen in your city and you don't even know what's going on there. Or, you know, I guess if we look more closely at the numbers, we can probably find out what's going on. I guess demand. Maybe if we demolish all the dirty industry and let the high-tech stuff take over. Maybe we should do that. Should we do that? Let's save the game and do that. Education by age. So education has gone up. Wow, life expectancy is pretty good. Look at that. That's amazing. So all of our indicators are going up. Great. So traffic volume is still stable. So that's been stable for quite a long time now. So their wealth has increased somewhat, and in fact the people using buses have increased somewhat, but not the people using cars. Commute time, still an hour. And we look at traffic. Let me just... fire hazard's pretty bad, but that's okay. Wait a minute. That's fine. Crime is under control, I guess. Education getting pretty good. Desirability, high wealth pretty good. High wealth pretty desirable. The air pollution's a problem. The air pollution is a real problem down there. Water's fine. Power's fine. Traffic. So there's congestion at the toll booths. And there's congestion there. Aside from the toll booths, everything's fine. Zones, land value, yeah, the air pollution's a problem. I don't know why that's a problem though. Why is there problems there? I don't understand why. I understand here that's pollution. I don't know why that's low value. Let me just see the air pollution. Not sure. Water pollution, garbage, radiation. Okay, well that's interesting. I'm going to save the game again. Pause that, save the game again. And I'm going to increase the taxes on dirty industry. This is, I mean, I've got a moral disagreement with this, because basically you're just pushing the dirty industry elsewhere. In the real world, we'd just be pushing the dirty industry to China, basically. You know, outsourcing all the jobs to China. But there you go. So this is how we control pollution. Is we outsource jobs to China. That's pretty much it. Make sure not to demolish the bus stations. So demolish those. Demolish that. And this is, just do this carefully. Let me just zoom in a bit. There we go. And here we have the rubbish incinerator and the coal-fired power plant, which unfortunately we can't really, you know, reduce the pollution too much on these. What I might do is get rid of that, move the incinerator over, and then get rid of this. Oops, I think I demolished some bus stations. Never mind, so we'll do that. Should I put the bus stations back? I don't think they'll be very useful though. Let's put the bus stops back there, put the bus stop there. And then we're gonna build a bunch of parks here. Just to control the desirability here and also control the pollution as well. So open grass areas, actually. How big can I make this? Is there a bigger grass thing? Like all of these have, you know, stuff on them. Large park greens. Yeah, no. Okay, this is... I like the grass, because you can just kind of plant a lot of trees on top as well. I should keep an eye on how much money I'm spending on these things too. So that's great. And then also put the parks there. I don't know if I should increase the taxes on manufacturing as well, because manufacturing does also create pollution, although not quite as much. Alright, so let's just plant a whole lot of trees here. A whole lot of trees. A ridiculous amount of trees. I might do this later in my own time, actually. Let's just do this for now. Alright, let's just do that for now. And put stuff there. There we go. That's good. Alright, let's just keep demolishing this industrial stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I should also demolish... I mean, if I should also raise taxes on manufacturing. Kind of want manufacturing, but I kind of want high tech more. No, don't do that. There we go. We're definitely getting rid of the dirty industry. Okay. So we just created a lot of unemployment as well, because people were working here and now they're not. See, there's still poor people in the city, and they used to be employed in the dirty industry, and they just demolished all of it. It's probably a bad thing, actually. Alright, so... go! Alright, back to planting trees. So we're just gonna let that simulation run for a little bit. While we plant trees. I don't remember if I saved the game or not. I might not have saved the game. Alright, so we lose a whole bunch of tax income, and then the factories build themselves back up. And then we get the tax income back. I don't know if any dirty industry actually got built. Anyway, let me just plant more trees. Do-do-do-do-do, plant more trees. You can fit a surprising number of trees in a limited amount of space. So you can see the number keep going up there, like I'm just kind of planting more and more trees in the same space. A surprising amount of trees can be fit here. Alright, there we go. You can also see the trees growing. These are really fast growing trees, to be honest. Alright, so hopefully the trees will contain the air pollution a little bit. I'm pretty sure they will. Can't hurt, right? Anyway, let's just put more trees in. Oh, that's interesting. My tax income's going down a little bit. Alright, let's just put all this stuff in. Alright, can I stop? Zoom out. Fascinating. These are some pretty big ass commercial buildings. So we've got some high-tech industry, they're not doing that well. Probably some pollution issues. Yeah, they're 8 out of 33, yeah, they're really not doing very well. Power is perfectly fine. Oh, that's interesting. People aren't going to school anymore. That probably could increase a little bit. I don't know. Was it a good thing that I did? Probably not. Alright, let's check traffic volume. Not much change, is there? So the people taking buses are leveling off. The people taking cars are, increasing slightly, it seems like. I don't know. The population isn't really increasing, so that's not really a problem. Let me just check the air pollution. Nope, that's still a big problem. That's still a big problem. What can we do? What else can we do? We can do ordinances, we can do... there's a Clean Air Act. If I can find it. Clean Air Act, there we go. It costs 107, that's good enough. We can also probably change the power supply too. That would cost us more money, but it would reduce the pollution. Should we do that? Change it to oil? It's still heavy pollution, the oil. Okay, natural gas. How much are we using right now? We're using 1,000. Okay, let me just change to natural gas. How big is that thing? There we go. Put that there. Increase the funding there. There we go. Simulate. So we're squandering our revenues on all these things, but that's okay. We should increase the funding there. Actually, no, we can decrease this funding quite a bit, actually, can't we? Yeah, we can. Just decrease that there, and oh, that's pretty close. All right, that's not too bad. So now there should be less air pollution. Wow, look at that. So the trees completely eat up that pollution. It's just gone. It's just eaten. Consumed by the trees. Amazing. I'm just really hoping this air pollution will disappear after a while once the trees kick in. I mean, the coal plant is gone, so there's less pollution there. Great. So this is still completely over capacity, but it's bringing in a lot of money. Let's just check. I think more people are taking trains than before, right? I think they are. Traffic volume, trains. Still not very much, is there? yeah, overall quite successful. Although you see it declining there. That, I think, it's the effect of the high wealth moving in. So the change from low wealth manufacturing jobs to higher wealth, the high tech stuff means that less people are taking buses. Although jobs population, yeah, see that the low wealth population is declining, and the medium wealth is increasing. So people are getting richer here. That's what's going on. Dirty industry is gone. Manufacturing is still pretty high, but high tech is taking over too. So that's medium wealth commercial services. That's interesting. What's that? That's changing to high wealth offices? I don't even know why, because well, I guess there's a demand there. That's good. There's plenty of demand. I can also try to crank this stuff up to high density. Although you see, look at that. Like it's only half occupied. What's going on here? Low pollution, low garbage, low crime, but also low customers. That's not very good, is it? I don't really know what to do about that, to be perfectly honest. I think maybe more parks would help. How much money do I have? That much. What if I... What if I... Actually, I have some of this stuff to put in. Maybe I should put this stuff in. Alright, Mayor's house can go there. Mayor's statue. Let's put that... let's put that there. And let's put the other one like there. What else do I have? University, we're not gonna put that in. That takes up too much space. City Hall, we kinda can't. Can we afford it? Monthly cost $280. We can't really afford it, can we? Never mind. Let's just leave that for now. Can probably squeeze money back out of this. This is kind of overfunded. Squeeze the money back out of this. There we go. That is actually quite close to capacity. Let me crank that up a little bit. That is fine. Yeah, so all this, oh look at that. That's interesting. The conditions are improving for our commercial guys. Not, yeah, I guess the statue helped maybe. Yeah, they're still building a lot of high wealth commercial stuff. Let's just check the air pollution. Yeah, so the trees have eaten up the air pollution there, but somehow it's still pretty high over there. That's kind of disappointing, isn't it? Is it leaking out here? Is that what's happening? We should plant more trees here. Let me just come back here and plant more trees. I should probably stop this experiment now, because the experiment is pretty much done. We have decided that we can actually put in toll roads, or put toll booths on roads to get money and use that money to pay for mass transit, and in doing so convince most people to use mass transit. So we've decided that it actually works in the game. Doesn't really mean it works in real life, but it does work in the game. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I mean, it works, but then just building a lot of roads also work in this game, so I don't know if one's better than the other or not. Anyway, I'm going to stop playing this city here, and yeah, so if you guys have anything else to say, or any other experiments you want me to perform, by all means leave comments in the videos. Although by the time you watch this video, it's probably quite a bit later. I think I've got like 40 videos between what I just uploaded and this one, so you won't see this for another month. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Cool. Let's just, yeah, 1,200, and yeah, look at that. It pays for all the, actually making money from roads. That's amazing. Actually save this, and then I'll stop recording.